Hey, what's going on, guys? Pretty exciting day today because we're checking out the very first, I think that I know of, the very first like full-on actual model kit from Kantai. So those of you guys who are Kantai fans, rejoice because here we've got Shigure Kai-III out in Good Smile Company's Plamatea line. So we have checked out the Plamatea line before, I think with the Miku model kit, which is really nice. But this one looks really cool. So of course we've seen like different Kantai style stuff out in the Frame Arms Girl line. They've had a couple of kits out that are very similar to like what you would see typically in like kind of this anime girl like battleship crossover kind of design anyway, but this one being the first, like I said, the first one that I know of that I can think of, unless there was something out. Well, I guess there's a couple of minimum factory model kits also from Good Smile Company, but those are also just like small 120 scale like fixed pose model kits. But this one being actually like a fully articulated like kind of model kit as we would typically expect again for like Frame Arms Girl or Megami Device, that type of model kit. It should be very interesting, so let's go ahead check it out here for today's video. And so we got some really cool box art here on the front, and in typical style of a lot of Good Smile Company kits, and especially the Plamatea line as we've seen so far. On this side of the box, we've got like vertical format box art, which looks really nice. If you flip it around to the other side, we've got horizontal style box art, which has like a cropped version of the character illustration there, and then an actual photograph of the built, and I would assume that's also painted sample model kit right here as well. So it's always kind of cool. And then here on the ends of the box art, it's usually the same as well, where it's like flipped. So on this side, you can see you've got a close-up of the model kit. On the other side, it's a vertical format. So it's always kind of interesting to me how they swap that on both sides of the box. I think it's nice. Here on this side of the box, so you can see some more photos of what the kit is going to look like, all built up in a few different poses there with some of its different accessories. And we've got some different face option parts and some eye decals included. Around on the other side, just some more sample photos of the built, and then, well, yeah, it looks like there is going to be a painted sample here as well. And while I don't have any experience with Kantai as a franchise, as just a game or whatever, you may notice, some of you guys, if you're like me and you're a fan of the band Rintoshite Shigure, that this character is the same kanji, Shigure in the name is the same as the kanji in Rintoshite Shigure, the band name, which means like a light rain, like a drizzle. It's a very interesting name, I guess, for the character here is what I'm trying to say. It's also an interesting name for the band too, as it kind of like just doesn't really make sense. But anyway, as you can see for the instruction manual, it's just like a pull-out instruction manual there like that, and it looks like it's in full color, which is also very typical for Good Smile Company model kits like this. So we got a bunch more sample photos. We got our parts list over here with the highlighted parts there in yellow being parts that do have pre-printing on them, which is nice. And then yeah, all the construction is in full color, which is fantastic. Just makes the construction process that much easier for us. So it all looks pretty good there. And as you may have seen there briefly, we have our water slide decals included as well, just for the eyes. So nothing really too special. Would have been nice to have some like other markings or something on there as well. Would have been cool, but maybe that's available as a separate set. I'm not sure. If you guys know for sure, you can let me know in the comments. Sometimes they do have like online exclusive decal sets for some of their kits and things like that. But here you can see our pre-printed faces. Those look really nice. We'll take a closer look at those in the review. And then our hand parts that also have the kind of gloves pre-painted on there as well. So it looks like those are maybe molded in like a skin tone color and then painted black. Yeah, it does look to be the case there for our open hand options. Then a couple of other just bagged parts here, unprinted face parts, and then this skirt part here with that red line printed around on that. That looks really nice. So getting into the runners, then here we've got our parts in clear for the display base, the main display base plate there, and then parts for the display arm. And on runner A here has all our parts for the hair in brown, including that little bit for that ribbon, which is pre-printed in red there. Looks really nice. Also the shoe parts on here too, I should say. Runners B and C are going to be our skin tone colored parts here for the kit. Runner D is all of our white parts here with, again, some nice pre-printing of some red details on some of those clothing parts. Runners E and F, some parts here in black with a little bit of red pre-printed on that part there, and some more parts here for the body, arms and legs, etc. Runner G is a few parts here in red. And then lastly, runners H, I, and J is for basically all of like the mechanical accessory parts. So runner H there, runner I, and then we've got two of runner J for the actual like mechanical battleship parts of the design. And that's it for the runner. So let's go ahead and get her put together and see how she looks. Alright guys, and so here is a Shigure all built up. Really nice kit here for this one. We're going to take a look at this first just in like the base form of the body without all that extra added stuff added onto it. Just as you can see there, it just has the connection arms attached onto the back side, and then we have all of our different accessories and stuff that we're going to add on. So for now, just focusing on the main kit, the construction of this really nice color separation here, as you can see as well, even just straight out of the box. Now it basically looks like a pre-painted Figma or something. And that's thanks to some of those parts actually being pre-painted, but then also we have some nice color separation in there as well. So a really nice looking kit here, even without doing anything else to it. But let's go ahead and check out the accessories that we have included as well. And so first and foremost, we have our display stand here with a couple of points of articulation there for that, where it can bend. You can also rotate this at the bottom there as well, and then here at the top is just going to be a peg which will plug into the back where these arms are connected into there, or otherwise you can see there's one in the top part where that can be plugged into there like that. But alternatively, if you just omitted this part entirely, you could plug it into the part of the lower back there as well. But then for the base, you have two shorter arms and two longer arms that you can make any combination of those that you want. Usually I find the two shorter arms are plenty tall enough to attach into the character's back for either just doing a standing pose if you just need help just keeping the character balanced and standing, or elevated for an elevated pose. Usually you don't need like these longer pieces there for the arm. For our two pre-printed face options here, these look really nice with the pre-printed eyes and eyebrows and then mouth on those, so the color and the print quality on those looks really nice. You do have those unprinted faces as well with waterside decals if you want to make some of your own. And then for hand options, we have these open hands which are really nice with the black painted on there already for you for like the fingerless gloves. That said, we also have a set of hands for weapon holding and then a set of closed fists here as well. But as you can see, these are just going to be solid black, so you would have to paint these to have the fingers be in flesh tone and not all in black here, unfortunately. But you have all those hands for the left and the right side, of course. Then for the weaponry, so this section here can be just attached onto the arms here on the back. So that's plugged onto the back there kind of as one unit. These can be adjusted individually like that, and then you have a hard point for plugging this onto the action base there, because obviously now that is kind of covered up. But if you remove that part which keeps these held together, then these can separate, and obviously they're on these connected arms with a bunch of different articulation points to be able to move these around into different positions here, so you can have them like firing out the front, and then they have little handles that can also fold out of here. Sort of tricky to get out, so I'm going to use some tweezers here, but yeah, the handle will fold out of there, and then you can hold these in the hand for firing like that, sort of handheld, but those can separate like so. We've also got these accessories here, just sort of like these missile pods, I guess, sort of, as it were. These will attach here onto the side of the leg there like that. We've got two of those, and these are just attached onto these 3mm hard points. So obviously you could mix and match and use different parts onto here. Actually, Kotobukiya makes an MSG option set that actually would work really well with this, because it's basically designed to be something like pretty much right out of Kankole. But anyway, these are attached via the peg there, but they're also on a ball joint, so they can move around and you can adjust the angle of those as needed. And then finally, a set of these little handheld weapons here as well. And again, with these, the barrels are individually articulated, so you can move those a little bit. And then these are just meant to just be held in the hand here like that. One for the left side, one for the right side. But actually, if we omit this handle part here, you just have that hard point there. These can also be plugged here onto the backpack like this. Actually, I guess they're meant to be pointed down like that, but you can point them whichever direction you want. Anyway, you guys get the idea that those can be attached onto like the main guns onto the side of there, and then you can have them either on the backpack, or again, if you wanted to have these out and firing in some kind of position or something like that, you can do that. So really cool weapons and accessories that we have here for this. You can also remove this little bit here on the side, which will also reveal another hard point there if you wanted to add some more stuff to it, or just kind of move some stuff around. As for the main kit, this braid of hair here is connected via a ball joint, so you can kind of move that a little bit, not a whole lot, but you can move it just enough to kind of get it out of the way to change the position of the head to look different directions, up, not that far, and down, and not that far either. It is going to be a little bit limited, especially in looking downward there. But other than that, we do have a ball joint between the top and bottom half of the torso, so you have a little bit of movement there, and rotation in theory, but again, it's a little bit limited in terms of the range of that, but it should be enough to be able to do some nice posing with that. The shoulder will allow for movement up pretty high there. We have our rotation point at the bicep, and then our single joint at the elbow, which will not give us a full bend, but a pretty full bend there at the elbow. The wrists are able to move forward and back, and then you can obviously rotate the hands there as well. And then similarly, the legs are able to move about the range of the skirt. So because this is a fixed skirt here, you can't move the leg any higher than that. That's unfortunate, but then we do have a double joint in the knee. But then our knee joint will, like the elbow, give us a pretty full bend here, not a complete bend if it would have been a double joint, but just kind of enough movement there at the knee, and then a rotation point in the middle of the thigh there as well. Down here for the feet, these can obviously move forward and back. Again, a little bit limited there for the forward and back movement. You can adjust the angle side to side too, so you can get like a pretty wide stance and keep the feet flat on the ground there. Up underneath the feet though, you have some hollow space up in there that you may want to fill in if you don't want to have that kind of looking a bit ugly there underneath the feet. So overall, yeah, really cool kit, and hopefully the first of many, because I know that Kantai is a pretty popular series. It's not a series that I'm like familiar with at all, other than just like I know just kind of the general look and style of the characters. I don't really know anything else about it really, but I do hope that we will see some more kits from the series out in the Plamatea line, because it's really nice to have some nice like larger, more articulated characters, aside from just the couple of small kits that we got in the Minimum Factory line years and years ago. And there's probably like loads of Figma for this series that exist out there, but for people that want to like be able to build these as like a model kit and customize it and do all that, then I think that these are really nice. Of course, we have seen a couple of Kotobukiya model kits in the Frame Arms Girl line that are not necessarily from Kantai, but they kind of pretty much very much look like that. And then Kotobukiya has put out those MSG option parts that I was mentioning that are pretty much like kind of made for making your own kind of Kantai style design. So it's definitely been something that like you can make, but it's nice to have it as an actual official kit of the character and everything. So if you're a fan of Kantai Collection and this particular character and you like how the kit looks, then I could definitely recommend it for you guys. I think this is a really nice one. If you guys want to check out some more of the Plamatea line and more from Good Smile Company, you can check the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store right down there below the video. But as for this kit, it's really nice. The actual like base body is pretty standard for like a kind of standard Mecha Musume style model kit like this. Very similar to like Kotobukiya's Sosai Shoujo Teian line, just in terms of the points of articulation in it. There's certain points where the articulation could be better, and definitely some different skirt options for like making some different poses with the legs might be interesting to be included in some future releases. Again, similar to like what we see from the Sosai Shoujo Teian line. But otherwise, I think this makes for a really nice kit with some fun options. It looks great straight out of the box, and ultimately definitely one that I could recommend for you guys. So check it out. But that's it for today's video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. If you're not subscribed yet, you can subscribe. Just hit that subscribe button there. I greatly appreciate all your guys' support. Thank you so much. Until next time, hope you all are having a great day, and I'll see y'all later. Bye, guys.